Hello everyone. Now, we the group 3 are going to report the Azure model and models of technology enhanced instructional lesson. So I will give you to our first reporter, Miss Carino, to give you a knowledge about the topic.
Good day, everyone. I am Christy Carino, the first reporter of the group, and we are the group 3. Today, I will going to report about Azure Model Instructional Design. Models of Technology. So first, what is a sure model? It is an instructional model that has the goal of producing more effective teaching and learning. It ensures that the lessons are student-centered and teacher facilitates learning process. So kaning assure model ni siya wherein ang goal niya is makaproduce og more effective teaching process sa mga students. So, ang gi-sure ani is student-centered ganing siya nga process wherein makatabang sa mga teachers nga ma-assist sila unsaon pag-facilitate sa ilahang student. First, letter A, which is analyze learners. So, from the word analyze learners, you already have the idea para mas makasabot mo. So, from the word analyze, ang teacher is mo analyze sa iyahang student. So, the teacher should analyze the attributes of her learners by identifying their expectations, goals, preferences, and needs. When you determine the character of the learners, it will guide you in choosing specific strategies and resources to aid the learning process. So, kung mugamit ka aning analyze learners, ikaw nga teacher is mag-analyze ka dapat sa unsay attributes sa imuhang learners, unsay characteristics sa imuhang students. So, by identifying their kanang expectations, their goals, their preferences, and needs, kung ikaw as a teacher, imo nang i-identify ang unsay kanang expectations sa students diha sa kanang imuhang subject nga itudlo nila or unsa ilahang goals or preferences kung asa sila mas komportable ganing na mga preferences para mas dali ra sila makasabot or ang ilahang needs para mas makasabot sila. Kay naabay ay uban students nga dili fast learner, naapoy uban student nga fast learner pud. Nya magtapo ba na sila sa usa ka room. So dili gyud equal tanan ang unsay kanang pamaagi sa learning sa usa ka estudyante. So dapat na sila tagsa-tagsaon og analyze sa teacher para mas mahatagan og kalinaw or mas mahatagan og kanang sakto nga knowledge ug learning ang tagsa-tagsa ka estudyante. It depends sa ilahang target nga kanang attributes or it depends sa kung asa sila mas makasabot. So, it will guide you in choosing specific strategies and resources to aid the learning process. So, kung ma-determine na nimo ang character sa usa ka estudyante, mao na nay mag-guide nimo para pili ka og specific strategies unsa man nga strategy ang imo ihatag sa imong student, ang imo i-apply sa student, unsa man nga resources ang angay nimo i-apply sa imong student para ma-reach ra gyud ang learning process. So by that, mas naka-assist ka sa student nga mas makasabot sila bisan slow learner sila or bisan fast learner sila. So example of
Once again, everyone. So the second acronym in Azure's letter S. It stands for State Standards and Objectives. So after the analysis of the learner's attributes, the teacher must state standards and objectives for the learning module. This statement consists of a specification of what the learners will be able to do as a result of the instruction. Or to be more concrete about things, kani nga statement nag-focus ni siya kung unsay angay mahibaw-an or mahimo sa mga students isip resulta sa pagtudlo. Kani pod nga part magamit nato tong ABCD method. A for audience or for whom is the objective intended. B for behavior or what is the behavior or performance to be demonstrated. C for condition or what are the conditions under which the behavior or performance will be observed, and D for degree, to what degree will the knowledge or skill be mastered. The objectives can be used also in assessing the success of the students o sa grading process. Also, magamit sad ni siya to let the learners know ug unsa ang ilaha ma-accomplish through the class. And I know for sure kay bo na taani kay gitakol man pud ni nato sa kamamkatyong so di na lang nako kayo siya i-broaden. Now, let's proceed to the second S in the acronym, which stands for Select Strategies, Technology, Media, and Materials. It is necessary to pick instructional strategies, technology, and media that will bring about the results that you want. So first, you should figure out which delivery method will be best for your instruction. For instance, teacher-centered ba siya or student-centered? So kung teacher-centered siya, mangita ka kung unsa nga strategy imong gamiton, either mag-lecture ba ka or demonstration or magpa-show ka og video. Nya kung student-centered, mangita pud kag strategy, either group discussion or cooperative group work. And once you select your teaching strategy, then it's time to figure out which technology, media, and materials best support the method of teaching you are using. For example, magamit ba kag chalk or board to be more sophisticated? Mag-PowerPoint presentation ba ka? So, muna siya ang sa select strategies, technology, media, and materials. So, that would be all sa ako ang report. Let's proceed now sa next acronym po sa Azure. Thank you all.
Good day everyone, I am James Justinobi. So in continuation sa steps sa Assure model process is ang utilize technology, media, and materials. So in this step, it concerns on making a plan on how you are going to utilize the technology, media, and materials that you have selected or you are going to use. So from the word itself, utilize, or to make an effective and practical use of something to make your presentation clearly delivered and to become more effective. So in utilizing technology, media, and materials, it is important to follow the 5P's process to make your instructional design become more effective. So first is preview the technology, media, and materials. It is important to plan ahead of time just how you're going to use them, making sure that your whole lesson will go smoothly and seamlessly. So it is also good to do a dry run before you actually teach or present your discussion. For example, mag-review ka or mag-inspect sa imo presentation kung wa ba'y mga nakuwang or angay ipuno para during na sa Enzo discussion dili na kamo malangay. Next is prepare the technology, media, and materials. So in this process, you need to gather all of the things that you will need to teach your lesson and they must be working properly. For example, on making a PowerPoint presentation, then you will need to create a text and graphics for each screen para aray guide and overview ang imo estudyante kung nanotoy imo gipang discuss sa imo lesson. And also ang technology and equipments nga imo gigamit, mga materials kung they must be working properly para way distraction o disturbo during sa Enzo discussion. Next is prepare the environment. Upon preparing the environment, there are some minimal preparation that are required to set up. Simple things like making sure that there are enough desks and chairs to make your students comfortable upon listening your discussion. Also, if you have control over the situation, you should make sure that there are no sources of noise that will disturb the students. So, sa butabo na makaazo nga, kinahanglan mag-search ka kitag lugar nga way sources of noise kay para ang klase dili ma-interrupt o dili mahunong ang discussion. Sunod kay prepare the learners. First, you need to tell them as to what the learning objectives are. This will help them create a mental map of what they need to absorb. It is also important to tell them how they will be assessed, what are their assignments will be, how they will be graded if there are tests and activities. And also, you should explain to them what are the benefits of learning the materials are, to clearly inform and fully prepare them before the actual discussions will start. So the last P process is provide the learning experience. So in this stage, you didn't actually carry out the lesson. This is where all of your planning takes effect. You should be prepared to carry out the lesson with every prior step of process in mind. This will ensure your success as a teacher. So in this stage or process, diri nimo ma-apply imong knowledge o ang imong mga plano sugod pa lamang pinakauna. Dan mahimo nga basihan kung effective ba ang imong teaching process or style. So the next step in the Assure model process is requirement of the learner's participation. So this step actually belongs within earlier steps. It requires that you make plans to how you are going to actively engage your students in the material that you are teaching. This needs to be figured out both at the class level and the individual level. So the requirement of the learner's participation is the most basic step that you can take on the students during a discussion. It is a more sophisticated approach that requires students prepare questions and comments at home to bring into the class, such as allowing students lead the classes or discussions, or just like what we did today, reporting. Beyond this, you need to think of a plan exactly on how the students will participate in the learning process, how they will learn the information and the technique included in the lesson. This plan needs to be more specific than just saying that they will only listen and absorb the material. Though you need to encourage them with a specific kind of note taking and other learning strategies that will help them instill their learnings.
So, good day everyone. I'm Camille Benimpas and I'm going to discuss the letter E, which stands for Evaluate and Revise in the Assure process. So, evaluate and revise. So, this is the final step in the Assure process. It is just as crucial as of all the others. So, in this step, you evaluate the impact of your teaching on student learning. And this includes an evaluation of your teaching strategies and technology, media, and materials that you use. So this is the last stage or final step in the Assure process, which is ang evaluate and revise. So this is the most important stage or the most crucial stage in Assure process. So here, you have to evaluate the instruction process from start to finish using the objectives you created in the beginning. So simula dun sa pag-analyze. So, after nating magamit or magawa yung 5 steps sa Assure process, is kinahanglan na nato siyang i-evaluate. So, in this step, you evaluate the impact of your teaching on student learning. This includes an evaluation of your teaching strategies and the technology, media, and materials that you used. So, nganong kinahanglan pa man i-evaluate? Of course, para makahibaw ta sa effectivity ng atong gihimong lesson plan or learning objectives. Para makahibaw sad ta kung effective ba yung teaching strategies natin or nakatulong ba yung pinili nating media or materials na ginamit natin to teach our students. Okay. So, mao nang importante jud ang evaluation. So there is evaluation, it should be focused on feedback from your students. So after nimo mag-instruct or magtudlo sa ila, is kinahanglan sad nimo i-evaluate ang entire instructional process. So mauto. Mangutana ka sa imong students kung naaba jud sila nakatunan or na meet pa jud nila ang learning objectives na imong gi-provide para nila. So we have here the following questions that are useful to ask during this evaluation. So for example, did your lesson meet the learning objectives that you planned? How will you determine whether the students reached those objectives? So by doing so, you have to determine kung na-meet ba ng mga students mo yung learning objectives na imong gi-provide sa ila. So you have to ask them their feedbacks. So, kung unsa tong positive experience nila sa imong gitudlo and overall, para sa next teachings nimo is kahibaw na ka or na-determine na nimo kung unsa tong angay na baguhon or naabay angay na i-improve pa or dapat i-change sa imong teaching strategies. So also, can this lesson be improved? How are you going to assess the weaknesses in your presentation? So, after evaluating, di ba, makahigaw na ta what are the things that needs to improve and what are the things that needs to change. So, after that is kinahanglan na nato siyang i-revise. So, pag sinabi revise, it doesn't mean na kung i-revise is safe na tong imong gibuhat. It's just a thing na kailangan mo lang galingan pa or i-improve pa yung teaching strategies mo para sa susunod din mong teaching is mas maging effective yung delivery of instruction mode to your students. So aside sa teaching strategies, we should also evaluate the technology, media, and materials that we use. So was your choice of media and materials a good one? How will you assess the effectiveness of these tools? So yun, nakatabang ba daw ang media or materials na imong gihatag sa imong students to reach those objectives? And kung nagamit pa jud daw nila ang materials that are used to provide. So, a teacher should also evaluate those materials, yung mga ginagamit na materials. So, for example, dyan is PPT presentation or visuals, mga ganyan. Then, pag halimbawa naman is online, for example, is yung Google Meet or yung Zoom or kung sa exam naman is, for example, dyan is yung Google Forms or quizzes, so mga ganyan. So, you also have to evaluate those things kung effective ba yung mga ginamit na media or materials. So, mauna ang evaluate and revise, and that will be all. Thank you for listening.
Everyone, I am Irene Estrera and I am going to report about the technological tools or application in teaching a lesson. So, first is mobile device. It is a computing gadget such as smartphone or a tablet computer that can be handheld and carried along by the user. Next is Edmodo, an educational tool that connects teachers and students and is assimilated into a social network. Next is Socrative, a system that allows teachers to create exercises or educational games which students can solve using mobile devices, whether smartphones, laptops, or tablets. TED-Ed, an educational platform that allows creating educational lessons with the collaboration of teachers, students, animators, generally people who want to expand knowledge and good ideas. Class Dojo is a tool to improve students' behavior. Teachers provide their students with instant feedback so that good disposition in class is rewarded with points and students have a more receptive attitude towards the learning process. Storybird aims to promote writing and reading skills in students through storytelling. The stories created can be embedded in blogs, sent by email, and printed, among other options. Animoto, a digital tool that allows you to create high-quality videos in a short time and from any mobile device, inspiring students and helping improve academic lessons. Kahoot, an educational platform that is based on games and questions. The material is projected in the classroom and questions are answered by students while playing and learning at the same time.
Hello everyone, by the way, I am Cindy Mistrera and now I'm going to continue the report of Irene, which is the other terms of technological tools in teaching a lesson. So a Google Classroom, which states that a powerful community-based social tool for learning, and it can also be integrated with other Google products such as Google Forms, which can be a great way to get feedback from students. So we are all familiar about G Classroom naman no. So dito na to makita ang mga task and activity nga dapat nato i-comply. And we will not go further na ana kay we are all knowledgeable enough naman for that uses kung sa mga gamit niya. So next is the Padlet, which means a digital tool that can help teachers and students in class and beyond by offering a single place for a notice board. It is collaborative. It allows you to involve students, other teachers, and even parents or guardians. So at first, it finds as lisod gyud no like pag-upat na nakasugat ani with Ma'am Rebecci but dako da ni siya tabang nato since mas convenient man siya gamiton if makamauna ta. Mas dali ra ang interaction between students and teachers like sa ato pa agi karon with Ma'am Rebecci. Nakahibalo na taon-taon paggamit sa Padlet. And then the blogs. a web page that you need to create and where you can write and post your ideas. These are updated on a regular basis, which can inspire, educate those who read it. So there are many kinds of blog and the type will depend on the purposes of which it was created. So alright, so there is a blog is diri ta makapost og mga personal use or sa mga business nato nga dako ni siya tabang sa mga naay business kay dako man ni siya expansion nga makover aron mas maila ug mas mulawak ang lakaw sa imong business and mas easy access ra pud siya. So all right, so that would be all for the first topic, and now let's proceed to our next topic, the models of technology enhanced instructional lesson. So unsa ba ka ang mga makatunan nato or mag-gain nato ani nga topic? So first, let's have our learning objectives. Identified how a technology tool is integrated in a lesson. Evaluate a sample lesson with the element of technology integration and suggested how it can be enhanced. Different roles of learners in this millennium, technology tools that facilitate learning, guide in designing a lesson, sample lesson plan that employs the use of mobile devices. Alright, so before we're going to start our discussion, let's have a short introduction first. So the learning place can also evolve, especially when you consider the varied roles that learners play. So which means nga, kung kita as a teacher, we should consider nga ang mga students kay dili lamang bastang kay learners lang. Kung dili, dapat pud nato i-consider nga naapod sila different roles during the learner's process. So there is also the element of flexibility since learners can assign tasks and preferred times or manner of doing them. So element of flexibility which means that kaya po ay sa students nga buhaton kung unsa ang mga assigned task nila o preferred times and manner of doing that certain task. So we have here a picture. So in this picture, naatay dagan makita nga mga words wherein the audience can demonstrate what they know as we go on to our discussion. So naata dihay poetry, dance, audio, and daghan pa. So next slide is the four roles of a students. So will give you to Mr. Leonard to give you or enlighten you about this topic. So thank you for listening.
So, I am going to discuss the four rules of learners: the contributors, creators, communicators, and the collaborators. First is the contributors. Learners can upload materials such as video or an audio, post a message, submit an outcome in a Dropbox or add documents and ebooks, and add a picture or contribute to a digital world using a pop-up. So, sa contributors, ang atong mga learners, mahimo ni sila contributors if mag-upload na sila og mga something useful dito sa online world, like sa Dropbox. So, mao ni siyang gamit sa pag-share sa imo mga file. So, like sa Lightroom, pwede ka mag-upload og preset para sad ma-download sa uban nga ganahan ana nga preset. Also sad sa kanang mga research nga gihimo nato, pwede sa nato i-upload adto sa online world para sa mahimo og basis sa uban para sa ila future research. So dira mahimo ang ato learners as contributors. The second one is the creators. So students can collate a digital portfolio, or commonly known as a e-portfolio, or create a virtual poster or an interactive resource. They can produce a digital story, edit the entries, and share. So, sa creator, pareha ra ni sila sa contributor, pero ang nakalahi lang is ang contributor is nag-share kag mga something useful sa online world para makuhaan og reference sa uban, unlike sa creator is nag-share ka or naghimo ka, it doesn't matter og useful ba ni siya. And ang primary aim nimo diri sa creator is to make or create or showcase your ability or potentials. So, when man mahimo o creator ang mga students, so example, mag-create og content or vlog kanang mga vlogger, mag-create na sila content para i-upload sa online world, and also sad kanang mga writers sa Wattpad. So, the third one is the communicators. Using technology tools, students can chat with peers, post a reply in a blog, and contribute a comment to the thread flow. Creating a Reiki editing and adding to it gives the students the chance to communicate their thoughts using the chat room or web conferencing by Skype creates a new dynamic to what a learning place is. So sa communicators, diri mahimog communicators ang mga students tungod sa pag-integrate sa mga technology tools like Messenger, Facebook, or even Skype. So they have a chance to express their ideas through chatting, posting, a reply, or even as sa Skype kanang face-to-face communication nila. And then last is the collaborators. Capstone projects can be outputs of collaboration. Students can participate in posting ideas in a forum where there can be an asynchronous discussion. So, mahimong collaborators ito students if i-appeal sila sa forum niya dito pwede sila mo participate niya kung mo participate sila makahimo na sila og mga collaboration kay mag-exchange man na sila mga ideas. So dapat natay paraan or kanang appropriate nga technology tools. So that is the four rules of learners. Thank you.
So, a pleasant day, everyone. I am Chriselle Nadalo Cañete, and I am the last reporter of Models of Technology. So, last rules of learners is collaborators, right? So, how did learners become collaborators, Mano? So, capstone projects can be outputs of collaboration. So, unsa man gyud ining capstone project di ay no? So, it is a multi-faceted body of work that serves as a cultivating academic and intellectual experience for students. So, students can participate in posting ideas in a forum where they can be asynchronous discussion. So, a student become a collaborators if na sila gani sa usa ka forum and then they can participate. Like, if naka-participate na sila wherein they can share their ideas or opinion, diha na sila matawag nga collaborators. Right? So, if they are sharing the same ideas and opinion, diha na sila mahimong contributors ang mga students. Right? So, all we need to do is to think a ways or an appropriate technology tools para mas ma-widen pa ang pagka-collaborators sa atong mga students. But, dili lang kay sa forum lang mahimong collaborators ang mga learners, but also using wikis to participate in a group work with the aim to accomplish a task or comment on blogs are a few ways on performing the role of collaborators in new idea of a learning place. Like for example, kanang mga common tools like blogs, Padlet, Google Classroom. So those are the the tool suited for sharing information or content where students can and teachers can collaborate. So there are may ideas on how to integrate a technological tool or an application in teaching the lessons. No, kay we all know that daghan magi klase-klase gani nga mga ways on how to kanang mga gamiton ang mga unsay mga pamaagi, unsay mga tools in teaching the lessons, but also we need to identify. So the first one is identifying the possible rule that students need to be can guide them to choose the appropriate way of using the right tool. Okay, so as a teachers, we need to consider and know on what type of rules of learning ang gamiton para mas ma-integrate or useful learning tools and technology tool para mas dali masabtan og makakat-on ang mga estudyante. 'Di ba? So the second one is the bottom line is for you to integrate technology because learners become engaged and they learn better. Hence, a well-integrated pace of technology is critical. So the third one is one important step is to select a tool, is to study it and its functions. Makes sense, right? So dili lang gani kay for me kani nga tool kay kanang maayo ni gang gamiton para sa mga bata without knowing the functions, without knowing if kana ganing kahibaw basad ka unsaon paggamit ana, di ba? So unsaon pakakat-on sa usa ka sa mga estudyante if mismo ang teacher is wala kasabot ug unsaon paggamit ang kana nga tool, right? Dili siya mahimong effective learning tool if ang teacher mismo is wa kahibaw ug unsaon na paggamit nga tool. So it is very important gid no nga kanang studihon nato ang tool nga ato gamiton para sa kanang teaching in lessons. So kinahanglan makahibaw ta gid ang kana nga tool is unsay benefits ana sa mga bata, unsay kanang mga kuan ana functions ana, 'di ba? So the fourth one is identify which one will work for your class while having in the main purpose why you are teaching the lessons. So if this tool is available, so a creative teacher can strategize the meaningful or the use of mobile as a way of engaging the learner. 'Di ba? So naay tools must be used as a fundamental components of a class. Okay, as long as they are appropriate and strategically integrated to facilitate learning judgment of technology in a lessons, so is an informed judgment of qualified and innovative teacher, right? So as a result ani, if kahibaw na ta sa mga integrated technological tool or an application in teaching the lessons, the students will become more engaged than ever before. Like kita mga students man no, so mas ma-engage, mas maingganyo gani ta nga kanang maka-learn, mas masabtan if you're using a common tool kana ganing mga like vlog, di ba? Kay kita kay ato gigamit karon is Padlet, blogs, and Google Classrooms. Like we're sharing our ideas and opinions in using kanang vlogs gani, like ato wala lang siya i-type instead of use ball pens and papers, 'di ba? We have to do is to use our phones nga kinahanglan i-type na nato diha niya magka-engage na ta for educational purposes and use for businesses nga na gani, gets ra? So technological tools or application in teaching a lessons. So the use of information and communication technologies as mediating devices supporting student learning that include elements of assessment, tutoring, and instructions, right? So it also involves a wide set of application and processes such as web-based learning, computer-based learning, virtual classrooms and learning environments, and also digital collaboration. So, social media and social software application such as weblogs, like for examples, blogs, 'di ba? And wikis offers new opportunities for communicating, assessing knowledge, creating content, and collaboration online. So, the appropriate use of technologies when embedded into curriculum design is nag-expected to support the development of innovative teaching practices and to enhance and enrich learning experiences, right? So, there are rules of learning and those are contributors, creator, communicator, and contributors. So, those are the rules of learnings. No, in technological tools or application in teaching a lesson.